Here we are at the Nürburgring, S-Class racing with the Audi RS6. This V10 monster of a power wagon. It is a very interesting car. Really fun to tune though. Has so much grip, but for this race I'm testing out traction control for consistency. Alright, on the takeoff. Oh, we got someone who's AFK. Gonna get bumped in the back by, looks like a Skyline, right into a NSX. Into the NSX again. Ooh, see if we can get out of this corner real quick. Alright, there we go. Alright, now it's really time to stretch out the legs of this car. This car is extremely fast. I mean, acceleration is crazy when coming out of corners. And the thing that I've learned about this car is that it rewards you for good throttle control, with traction control or without it. It's like you can screw yourself up with traction control on with this car, just as you could if it was off. So it's a really good car to learn throttle control with. I really enjoy driving it. All right, let's see if we can catch up with that Ferrari up front. The only thing about this car is it does not have the handling for S-Class, but it shines the best in S-Class. It's a 5.9 in handling, but with the aero and the tuning that I put on it, it would probably put it up to about a 6. Not great, but not bad either. With this acceleration on this car, it makes up for the lack of handling. All right, coming up on the Skyline that punted me earlier. Going a little wide and try to dive up on the inside. All right. Drag racing, and I'm stronger. 819 horsepower, I think this particular build has. It's really quick. And like I said, it has grip. You don't need traction control. I just using it for this race to test the consistency of it, and the fact that it's Nürburgring. And I get overzealous sometimes, and I would spin out. All right, ooh. Getting a little on the grass, not too bad. And try to catch up to that BMW. It's one of the touring cars, the classic touring cars. Ooh, you got to really watch getting in the grass with this car. You can definitely lose it pretty quick. And I can already tell, turning on traction control, that it will lug down the car if I'm trying to full out gun it. So I'm going to try to show more throttle control and see if that improves it a little bit more for this race at least. I know in earlier testing of consistency, the same throttle control that you show with the traction control and without it seemed to have the same effect. Just with traction control, you're more safe if you get a little happy with the throttle. All right, getting onto the grass a little bit, but coming into this corner, not bad. Now, the one thing that impressed me about this car is that the fact that it was as heavy as it is, it has great brakes. There was no extra brake upgrade. It was like stock brakes on this car is like crazy good for how big it is. Ooh, BMW gonna get into a fight with the Lamborghini. All right, now it's my turn to get into a fight with him. Looks like I'm gonna have him in the top end. Ooh, what is he doing? He's scared. I think he's new. You got a full throttle in this section. It's like if anywhere you need to be confident in your car, this is the section to be very confident in your car, because this is where you'll gain a lot of time on people that have handling-based cars compared to my car, which is all acceleration and power, which is a great combination for Nürburgring. Nürburgring seems to be like the great test track for handling cars or power acceleration builds. It's really good. All right. Oh, trying to make my way past him. He's being defensive, but not defensive. All right, coming out of that with explosive acceleration. You can just see the acceleration of this car. Every time I come out of a corner, doesn't matter how much feet they get on me, I close that gap really quick. And in an earlier race on Silverstone, without traction control, I was keeping up with some pretty big name people in this car. Ooh, I got a little confident in in that overtake. Should bide my time a little bit, but there's a lot of good drivers in this particular hopper. As you can see in first is the Roadrunner. That is the Roadrunner that won the Forza Championship in Le Mans, France. All right, trying to still pass this Lamborghini, and I tapped him and kind of put myself sideways a little bit, but didn't lose it. If didn't have traction control on, I probably would have. All right, oh, he going a little wide. Time to close the gap a little bit. But yes, this car is really good, surprisingly good. It handles better than what the stats say. Trying to catch up, trying to get my corners a little bit better here. Because Nürburgring is all about consistency. Or in knowing the track. If you don't know the track, you're just kind of gonna go in blind. It's gonna suck. All right. Now this section, I'm really good at this section. I love this section, but oh, coming up on them. Oh, overcorrected a little bit. That's all right. Not gonna lose too much footage on him. Got an Infinity coming in. Oh, he was not given any space whatsoever. All right, didn't wreck nobody out. We're gonna straighten up and get back on it again. Lamborghini's still up front. But getting back to this car though, if you want a car with to learn throttle control with, this car is definitely the car to do it with. It just rewards you every time you get the throttle right, when you have the right amount of throttle in every turn. It's great. It's great off the line. Has great brakes. The only thing that it lacks is handling. But for the most part, I've been staying in the top 5 with this car. Top 5. I think I got 3rd on Sebring, the short track. And I think Roadrunner won the race. Maybe his time was maybe 2 seconds faster than this car. It was like a 105, and he had a 103. So that just tells you how powerful this car is. It's really good, surprisingly. It's shocking how this Power Wagon. All right, coming up on him now. Let me stop jabbering and start talking about this race. Coming up on the inside of the Infinity and passing him. Coming around for the next lap, I took that corner quite atrociously bad. All right, hopefully I don't get punted again. Nope, we're good. All right, coming into the first corner of the Nürburgring. This will just be a race in between me and 3rd and 4th. There is no catching Roadrunner. That man is gone, and for good reasons. He just won the Le Mans, France, in Forza Championship. So I am not even mad about that, especially using a car that's not even competitive. I think he was in a Dodge Viper, the beloved ACR. All right, coming through here. Gonna start. I can tell that this car has better top end than that Infinity behind me, so this is where I'm gonna shine the best right now. Braking a little early. Might have caused a little mix up behind me, but they seem to be okay. That is the one thing that I was learning with this car was the braking points. I'm so used to cars at this weight that have such bad brakes that I brake early when I should be braking later. But I learned as I kept on driving this car. Moving on to this straightaway here. Not much is going to happen here because I'm just going to keep on pulling away from the Infinity. But I definitely believe he has better handling than my car, because every corner it seems like he catches up a whole lot. But every straight we get on, I just leave him. So it's a good battle against balanced cars. It's like I got the straights, he got the corners, and there's plenty of straights and plenty of corners on the Nürburgring. I would call it a 50-50. It's a good balanced track, or handling track. I wouldn't call it a speed track because there's not enough straightaways to warrant a speed build on this track at all. All right, coming through these corners. I'm usually pretty good with these corners, but still learning the car and getting better. It's not too bad, but it just doesn't have the handling. All right, the Infiniti coming, breathing down my back here. Now, surprisingly, the way I geared it, I geared for the maximum torque. It actually improved the stopping power of this car by like 3 or 4 feet. It was quite ridiculous. I've seen improvements when I do the gearbox like that, but none like that. I think it's like the 0-60 60-foot stop was 106 or 108 feet. It was pretty good for a car this size. And 120 to 0 was like 120, a little over 120. That is really good in terms of stopping power for a car this size. All right, coming on this back straight though, Infiniti's staying on me, but I'm pulling away from him slowly as the footage keeps going up. All right, gonna gain my little advantage here. Gonna lift throttle just to get through this corner. But like I said, this car just rewards you every time you get the throttle right. Oh, going a little wide, a little too confident in that turn. Just trying to make more distance away from this Infiniti. Gonna go a little wide, but gonna clean it up. Gonna tuck it back in. He's not gonna go for a move. This next section, I believe the Infiniti is definitely gonna give me a run for my money. Because I can drive this car to the best of its ability, but sometimes your car is just outclassed, and I think a lot of people in Forza don't understand that. It's like you might love a particular car, and you might think that you can beat everybody with it, but that's just not the case. This is not a fighting game. It doesn't matter how well you know a car or the ability of the car. It doesn't work like that. You are just clearly outmatched in a lot of scenarios in this game. And that's why I like to drive all kinds of different cars, just to test not only my driving ability, but my tuning ability and just the ability of the car in general. And I keep surprising myself over and over and over again by how good a lot of these cars that I pick up are. Going to push a little wide there. Infiniti's going to push up on the inside. Going to get back on him. Going to put the pressure on him. Definitely... And that's the thing. If you've been playing this game as long as I have, putting pressure on somebody doesn't mean hitting them. I mean, just get up on them and break when they break. That's enough to make him do what he just did back there. He flew off the track because I was putting the pressure on him. All right, getting back to this. I'm going to be ripping on this back end of the Nürburgring. I'm going to look for the straight because that's where I'm going to definitely shine the most. It's just a race to see who gets there first, the Infiniti or me. It looks like the Infiniti screwed up behind me, falling behind. All right, taking that corner pretty good. I definitely improved a lot from driving on the Nürburgring, and I suggest everybody drive on the Nürburgring. Just practice on the Nürburgring. It will teach you every corner in the game, literally. It's like every style of corner that you'll see in every race is in the Nürburgring. And if you can learn it here, you can apply it to those other tracks. All right, getting on the straightaway here. The Infiniti. I'm not losing the Infiniti yet. He's actually gaining footage on me. All right, here we go. His top end isn't as good as mine. I'm just barely going to get away from this man. I just got to hold him off to the end of this race. Wasn't a bad race. Was not a bad race at all with this car. Definitely impressed me a lot on the Nürburgring, especially with all the talent that was in this lobby. I know they got wrecked really early, so there wasn't much competition up front, but me and this Infiniti had a really good race. 7:08 That's not bad. It could be like a 706 or a 77 if I worked on it. But this has been Jay Runer. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Download this tune. I wouldn't suggest racing in the A class with this car because it's not that good. But thanks for watching.